Well, my name is Kris. I'm from the United States. I grew up in New York, but we lived in Florida for many years before we moved here. Now we're in the north side of David, Panama, in Chiriquí province, in a nice little Panamanian neighborhood. And next month will be 9 years we've been here in the same house, so it's obviously working out really well for us. Why do I like living here? How long do you have? I have a list, a very large list. Well, we came here for money because we can't afford to retire in the U.S. It's just too expensive any place we'd want to live. So we needed a cheap place to live. And I never in my wildest dreams imagined that we would be so happy here. And now I'm really glad that we had to move because it's been a wonderful experience. Just to have the worry about paying the bills every month taken off your plate is just a big relief. The people here have been super kind and welcoming to us. We just feel so included in the community, and the weather is chill. I know everybody says, David, it's so hot, but we like the warmer weather coming from Florida. We have an air conditioner if it gets too hot in the afternoon. So for us, it's working out really well. We love this climate. The natural beauty around here is just incredible. The main topic of weather-related conversation is it going to rain? Is it not going to rain? We don't have hurricanes, we don't have tornadoes, we have some brush fires in the dry season in the winter, but nothing like you see what's going on in California and other parts of the world. So there's really not much to worry about here. And being here in Chiriquí province, all the produce is grown right up the road in the highlands, so we got fresh fruits and vegetables every day all over town. I swear that I felt like a new person after being here for a month, and I think it's the good food. I've had lifelong dental problems with gum disease, gone, disappeared. Don't ask me why. So for many, many reasons, I really like living here. And it's more relaxed. You want to go take your car apart in the middle of the road, people will just drive around you. In the U.S., the homeowners association would be, hey. You kind of do what you want. People are very respectful of each other's space and each other's needs, but if you want to do something out of the ordinary, they're like, okay, no problem. So you don't feel judged like you do in the U.S. if you don't have so much money, good job, go to the right church, all the stuff that we look at people in the U.S. and go, good one, bad one. None of that here. If you're nice and you're friendly, you're family. So it's just, I've never felt as at home anywhere I've lived in the U.S. as I do here in this foreign country. So figure that out. With a foreign language on top of it. So yeah, like I said, I could go on and on about how much we love living here. I'm arriving in early October. I want a house between $300 and $500. He says, okay. He sent me pictures of 3 or 4 houses. And when I got here, we met down the road in front of El Rey. He drives up here. He drives into this neighborhood. We see this house. I said, this is exactly what I was hoping for. I go walk down the road, and I see there's nothing but woods behind us. And I says, am I hearing water? He says, yeah, the big river down there. Done. You don't just show me anything else. But I have other houses. No, you can't possibly top this. This is perfect. And he convinced me to see some other houses, and it's like, no. I was right the first time. This is where we want to live, and we've been here ever since. It's worked out wonderfully. We like the neighborhood. We like our landlords. So it's just really worked out. We got lucky. The main challenge here for me has been the language. I'm not good at languages, so trying to pound Spanish into my head was a process. I am so thankful for my teacher who had the patience of a saint, I swear. But, you use it here every day because my neighbors don't speak English. So little by little, it gets better and better. And when it works, it is so cool. It's like, he understood me. And I was able to tell him what I want to say, So that is really cool. And they say it's really good for your brain too, so we'll see. Beyond that, it was just, any new place you go, you got to figure out where stuff is and how to get around. And things don't make sense to us all the time here because they do things differently. Like I mentioned, I went to buy some fabric. They don't sell patterns. I don't know how people sew clothes, but somehow they do. And they didn't sell like pins and thread, but I found those in the supermarket. So it can be a challenge figuring out where to go for various things. And if you want printer ink, they may not have it where you bought your printer, but they may have it in PriceSmart, you know, it's stuff like that. But if you're retired or if you have time and you're willing to go with the flow and just understand that if you go out and get things done in short order, you've had a very lucky day. Because it can happen. You'll have to go 2, 3, 4 places to find what you need. Or if you want to get something done with government entities, they want copies and go to this office and go to that office and bring the receipt over there. And we're like, these guys are so inefficient. But it gets done. And when you leave, it's done. You don't wait for something to show up in the mail in 2 weeks. You know, you're done. So it's just a learning curve, probably more here than it would be if you move from one location in the US to another or wherever country you've been from. So if that kind of thing drives you crazy, you might be frustrated here. If it's just like, you know, I'll wait in line, I'll talk with the people in line, I'll make some new friends, then, you know, it's not that big a deal. Well, the first thing I noticed here was greetings. Everybody you pass on the street, buenos dias, hola, ¿cómo estás? You don't see that in the States, but that's routine here. You get on a bus, you say hello to everybody. Or you go in a waiting room in an office, you say hello to everybody. That makes you feel really different here. And then if you're outgoing and like my neighbors go over there and say, hey, I'm your new neighbor. They're like, oh, welcome, welcome. I hope you're happy. You need anything, you come see us. So you've got to be careful who you talk to or you'll have so many friends you can't keep up with them all. But I ride my bike around town a lot, so I've met a lot of people that way. Hey, what's that flower? That's really pretty. And they're like, oh, that's such and such. Come let me show you my other flowers. And next thing you know, you have a new friend. And so it's just been really interesting if you can communicate and if you're outgoing enough to approach people. They will welcome you in, and it just feels really nice. You'd never, ever feel alone here. So I like that, being kind of an outgoing kind of person. You live in David? Oh my God, how do you stand it? It's so hot. And I'm like, you live in Boquete? How do you stand it? It's so cold up there. So, you know, it depends on what you like. And there's towns between David and Boquete if you want something in between, climate-wise. So it all depends on, you know, what you like. But we like it because we don't mind the warm weather. We like it. And 5 minutes down the road is 3 major supermarkets, 2 banks. A little farther is a hospital. All the doctors, everything that we need on a daily basis is very close. And at our age, having medical care like that accessible is important to us, even though, thank goodness, we haven't needed it, but you never know. So being close to everything that we need on a daily basis is really nice. Yet, in this neighborhood, you don't feel like you're in the middle of town. You see, it's quiet, you hear the birds, the roosters down the way. So for us, it's been just a perfect balance between quiet and town. And the supermarkets here tend to have their own personalities. They'll be different. So it's probably good that you go look around and see who sells what, depending on what your preferences are. We go to El Rey usually because it's close, it's got plenty of parking, we don't have to cross the highway, we know where everything is, and they have pretty much everything we want. Across the street is Super Baru. They'll have more imported stuff, more stuff that you don't find in the other supermarkets. So sometimes if we want something in particular, it's like, oh, we should go look for that at Baru. And then there's Super 99, which is like a huge general sells everything in the world supermarket. And we're like, well, we don't know where to park and we can't find anything in here. So, you know, being lazy, we just go to what's familiar. And PriceSmart is probably our second favorite shopping place. It's like Costco in the US, bulk items, lower costs. So we go there and stock up on things that, you know, maybe every couple months to bring home. So that's mainly, but there's many supermarkets all over town. Some are kind of more cheaper stuff, some are more high-end stuff, everything in between. So just do some exploring and see what works for you. Ah, Mercado Frio, yeah. Well, it used to be downtown was just full of street vendors. And they thought if they made a place where all of them could go, they'd get them off the streets, which hasn't exactly worked. We still have street vendors, but they have this huge building now with multiple fruit and vegetable vendors, people selling meat and chicken and fish. I haven't been there in a while. I think there's like a beauty shop, there's a judicial office, there's all kinds of stuff going on down there. And it's under roof in the air conditioning, so it's much more comfortable to shop than, downtown. But downtown is still thriving because people need to go to the bus depot or they're working down there and they can pick up something on their way home from work. So those vendors still have their place here. We're not really good at recommending restaurants because we both cook really well. And you want me to like put clothes on and go out? So yeah, we don't eat out too much. Well, when I got here, I started a blog, and I was really interested in photography. And I was kind of a new photographer, so you look around here, oh my gosh, there's the trees and the plants and the bugs and birds and scenery. So I had a good time with that. And then my neighbor introduced me to a painter, so I took painting classes for a while. Sí, sí. Hay una empresa boquete, dice Panama Relocation Tours, para la gente que quiere saber más de Panama, para vivir aquí. So ellos hacen videos para... And I bought a bicycle. And a gardener here says, yeah, you can go downtown on your bicycle. You just have to be patient with the traffic. So one Sunday when it was quiet, I screwed up my courage and I went downtown, and the rest is history. I've been all over the area on my bicycle, which has really helped me know the area and see different, what's going on beyond the city, meet people, make friends. So that, I spent a lot of time on my bicycle. I've even done some traveling on my bicycle. I've gone to Panama, I've gone to Nicaragua, I did some traveling in the States. So that was really interesting. And my husband's a lifelong musician. He had a 3-piece rock band, and the bass player moved to Colombia. And I'm thinking, areas, they're dead in the water. Do you think I could figure out how to play this bass? So everything kind of changed right then, because I had 3 months from picking up the bass to my first gig. And that was a lot of intense practicing. But now that's the majority of my time. But I've gotten good enough now to bring back some of my biking and other activities that I used to do, so it's worked out. But I'm kind of the type that I'm never at a loss for what to do, especially in a new country and a new culture and new friends. I mean, it's just endlessly interesting. There's a bus service that goes from David to Panama City. It takes about 7 or 8 hours, depending on traffic. One time, I went down to the airport, which is just on the other side of town, got on a plane, 45 minutes, you're in Panama City, and that was it. No more bus. But it's really easy. Copa flies out of the David airport, lands you in Tucumán, the international airport, so if you want to go anywhere from there, it's like a travel hub. So that's another reason we like David, having the airport right here. If you're someplace else, you're either going to have to drive to Panama City or drive to David to catch a plane. So it makes it really convenient. And that was one thing that was important to us because I have family back in the States and I want to be able to go back and see them. So that's worked out really well. And Air Panama also flies out of here, but they land on the other side of Panama City by the canals. So if you're only going to Panama City, that's a good option. My grandson's 8 years old, and he's a fan of Minecraft. So when I went to visit last time, he showed me this game, and he told me about it, and I had it, but I couldn't get started. So he taught me, well, you got to do this, and you got to go there. And then I instantly became addicted. So you would find us sitting next to each other on the sofa going, Grandma Kris, I built you a building over here. Now come visit me in my world. So that has become my newest addiction. So when we talk to each other, it's, I found something new in Minecraft. So we have really a lot of fun with that. But he's into finding all the monsters and strange creatures and going to new lands. And I'm into building houses and roller coasters and exploring the forest. So we kind of come at it from different directions, but we have a lot of fun talking to each other. So when I go back, we will check out each other's worlds. Driving here can intimidate a lot of people. It's like, if you see an opportunity, go for it. And stop signs are suggestions. But on the other hand, people don't forget that the other cars have people in them, like we tend to do in the States. Road rage is not a thing. If they see you're really jammed up, I mean, they'll stop so you can get out on the road or whatever it is you need to do. So people tend to be more flexible here. But downtown, there is a lot of traffic. There's a lot of taxis, so it intimidates a lot of people. I don't like to drive downtown myself. My husband's like, no problem. These guys are really cool to be with. There's a ton of taxis everywhere. They don't cost a lot of money. There's many people here who live their whole lives without owning a car. There's also buses that go everywhere. This little neighborhood here, before COVID, we had a bus that would take you down to the bus terminal or, anywhere on the road. Uber is a brand new thing here. I just looked that up a week or two ago. Somebody was asking a question, and there was one Uber car in all of David. And I went back that night to look. There were no cars available. So you really can't count on Uber. But I know it's a huge thing in Panama City. So it's probably only a matter of time before that business grows here in David also. So there's many options for getting around. I feel safer here than I ever did in the States. I'm sure you drove up in your car, the neighbors were like, who is that? Where are they going? And if nobody knows, they will come out on the neighborhood WhatsApp group. Does anybody know what this car is? It's a white Toyota sedan with license plate, blah, blah, blah. We don't know if they belong in the neighborhood. So yeah, people really look out for each other. And if you make friends with your neighbors, they will look out for you too. So, and of course, no place is 100%. You leave your power saw out, it may walk off, something like that. But violent crimes against people are very rare. So for us, we feel safe. And even when I first arrived in Panama City, huge city, I noticed single women after dark walking alone like they didn't have a care in the world. And I thought, this bodes well. Well, look, David is made of neighborhoods. If you say you want to go to the supermarket in San Mateo, people go, oh, that's that neighborhood. They know exactly what you're talking about. And I haven't learned the names of all the neighborhoods, but it's we don't have addresses like we're used to. I mean, you want to contact me, I have to tell you, go to Villa del Carmen, which is our neighborhood, and then take a right and take a left, and our house is the yellow one at the end. So that's been kind of interesting. And as far as shopping areas, there's shopping areas all over town. I see new shopping complexes springing up. There's construction everywhere. The biggest deal is the Federal Mall. It's huge. It's north of town, just over there on Villa Boquete. And it came to a standstill with COVID, but now stores are starting to open up in there again. And just south of us is a well-established area called Toronal. They have supermarkets, banks, appliance stores, all kinds of various things to go shopping down there. There's plenty of parking, there's pharmacies. So, for us here, it's really convenient. There's a lot of places you can go to get what you need. And, same all over town. There's a big new shopping area south of town with more hardware stores, a pizza place, and who knows what all, supermarket. So you're never too far from what you need here. And if you don't have a car, you're on foot, you can go to the Chino, which is what they call the little convenience stores that are everywhere. We even have one here in this little neighborhood. You need a quart of milk, something like that. You go to the Chino and go, hey. The main park is Parque Cervantes, downtown. It's a big square park. People hang out with trees and benches and iguanas in the trees. And it's a lot of local color down there. And just not too far south of us is Parque de las Madres, which really touched me. It has this statue in the middle honoring the mothers and what they do for all of us, caring for the children. So those are the main two parks that I encounter on a regular basis. I know there's other green spaces all over the place that may not be named as parks, but if you just want to see some greenery, you never have to go too far. And the people who don't succeed, I see kind of expect the U.S. here in Panama for less money, but they expect things to be done efficiently, they expect them to be done to U.S. standards, and it doesn't really work that way. Your plumber may say he's coming over Tuesday at 1 o'clock, and he may not show up till 4, or it may not be till Wednesday. And if that kind of thing makes you crazy, you probably have a hard time here. But, you can also hire people to get stuff done. We didn't want to get new license plates for the cars. Hey, we got a job for you. So there are workarounds for things that drive you crazy. So I think that's the main thing. But people leave because they just don't like the changes they've had to adjust to here. Or lots of times they leave because they have health concerns, takes them back to the States, or family concerns, or they miss the grandkids, or that kind of thing. I think that's the most common reason for leaving. And a lot also depends on who you hang with. If you go to Boquete and you only hang out with other expats, you're not really going to experience Panamanian life as you would if you come to another location where there's no expats in your area and your friends are Panamanians, which is kind of what we've done, which I've really enjoyed. I'm not really a beach person. I sunburn like crazy. My Florida friends would want to go to the beach on Saturday afternoon. It's like, no. I'd come home red as a lobster. But there is 30 minutes south of town, La Barqueta, beautiful beach. You'll find the beaches like nobody there. You'll have the whole beach to yourself. And there's dangerous riptides there, so be very careful swimming there. Further east is Boca Chica, or west, where the heck am I? Anyway, Boca Chica's got a lot of islands out there, and it's my favorite area. It's chill, quiet. You can hire a water taxi for $3 or $4 to take you to Boca Brava. You can have lunch. You can run around, look for howler monkeys. I mean, it's just really nice. And then farther away is Las Lajas, which is a very popular sand beach also, without the dangerous riptides. So sometimes people will go there for the weekend if they enjoy the beach. So yeah, there are beaches nearby, and they're basically unused. It isn't like Florida. You can't go until late afternoon because there's no parking. Here you can go anytime, enjoy quiet time. And also we have mountains right above us. So if you want to go hiking, you want to go whitewater rafting, you want to do all kinds of mountain activities, that's available too. So we're in a good location for that. We got beaches to the south, mountains to the north. So whatever you want, it's not very far away.